Good morning. This is the Eager Beaver Show.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. Well, good morning and hello, kids, and welcome to season 3 and episode number 248 of the Daily Beaver Morning Show here on the Crier Media Network. Yeah, little shoulder action there for you. Yeah. I'm your host, the Eager Beaver, pronouns he, him, hey, Mr. Beaver, eh? And today, recording day is Thursday, November 9th, 2023, and it looks like it's going to be another gray, cloudy, and possibly wet and humid day here at the Beaver Lodge. Exactly all the conditions you love in November. Humid, wet, gray, rainy, cold. Ugh. I'm your host, the Eager Beaver, pronouns he, him, he, Mr. Beaver, and with me as always is my good friend, Mr. Grizzly. Good big thank you goes to our podcast founding sponsors, the Peppermaster, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and CanadianTarot.com. And if you see the calendar sort of waving up there, it's because the heat pump has landed. It has been installed. Unfortunately, they still have some more work to do, so they're going to have to come back tomorrow. But it was an all-day job. They arrived while we were doing the show yesterday, and we're here very close until 6 p.m. It seems that we had a couple of extra things to do. It wasn't just a straightforward install. There was more. But yes, we have this now big metal thing on our front lawn that's just, it's bigger than I thought it would be. To be totally honest. But there you go. So we are on our way to becoming a GHG emissions free house, except for, I guess, what it is that we emit when we're either breathing, burping, or farting. I guess. Hey.
Okay.
Before we go any further, let's ask Mr. Grizzly how his mental health is doing today, sir.
Well, sir, I think mental health, I'm good. I'm just really, really tired. And I'm getting some noise here somewhere. I can't figure out what's causing it. So I'm a little disheveled at the moment. But mental health, good, good.
All right, all right. Kit Hugh asks, how loud is it? If you're asking from outside, when we're outside, it's loud enough, but we're told that it's louder in the winter because it's working harder. Um, I am glad we put it out front though, because our old air conditioner was in the back and we couldn't sit on the patio or on the deck when it was on. It was just too loud. Inside the house, it's a little loud, but it seems that our air intake place thing is really huge and is in the wrong place, shouldn't be where it is. So we are going to switch that to take air from the crawl space, and that should solve that problem. But yeah, so far from first day, it's working well, and yeah, I can't, I have no complaints yet, but of course, it's just first day. So we'll see. It is quieter than what we had, though, because the fan on the air conditioner in the furnace just rattled. So
Oh yeah, that fan on your AC. I don't know about the furnace, but your AC was
I
bloody
know.
loud.
And it's like my Beaver sweetie has a hearing issue, so he has amplified hearing in one ear from time to time, and it's just, it drives him nuts.
Well, remember we're sitting out on your back patio and having dinner, and it's like it would kick in. And it's like, holy crap,
He started
that's
talking.
loud.
Like
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah, that's he's not joking. It was that
Yes.
bad, and I'm hard of hearing.
In the
So
summer, I sometimes like to sit on the patio with like the speaker, like to listen to you. So say when it's on, I can't. I actually have to turn it off, or I have to go to the garage.
yeah,
So
yeah, because it's just it was that
it's
loud.
like a plane landing or something. So this is better, and hopefully, if we can change the air intake, that'll reduce the noise inside the house too. Um, Personally, my mental health is not good today.
Oh, why?
So
What's up?
you maybe see a little lack of energy. Um, when well, first of all, I'm volunteering in a capacity in something, and unfortunately, the initial working group with which I am working, it seems that there was a miscommunication somewhere along the way, and people were interacting with people in unkind manners, which I do not tolerate at all when we're volunteers. I don't
Mhm.
tolerate at all, but I especially don't tolerate when we're volunteers and giving up our free time.
No,
Um,
exactly.
so I had to take a step to let people know that I am going to try and find a way for this to work well. But if it isn't, I'm out. Because I had this experience about a year and a half ago when I was unsuccessful at something, and I tried to solve it all myself, and that ended up making things worse. So this time I learned from that, and I called someone and said, I need some advice on how to solve this. That happened, and then yesterday evening, how sometimes you make a decision to do one thing, and that decision goes wrong, and then it affects everything
Hmm.
else. Um, the love of my life, again, who I love with all my heart, and
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
a chemist, decided he was going to
Hmm.
fill out some of the holes that were made during the installation with spray foam.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
How did
he
that
did
go?
the can.
He did it. What
He
happened?
just took the can and started spraying. The first
Oh.
instruction on the can is read instructions carefully. Second instruction,
Mm.
misuse could cause death or illness. 3, shake vigorously for 60 seconds. 4, wear a mask. He's a chemical engineer. You would think he'd know working with chemicals. He did none of those 4 things.
And how did that
We
work out?
spent lots of time cleaning up. He got it all over his hands. Choir practice was supposed to be at 7. I was supposed to be there at 15 minutes early to practice my solo with the choir director. That did not happen. We also did not have supper. We're also scraping spray foam, which is extremely sticky, from all over the floor. He got it all over his hands. We went to Canadian Tire to try to get Varsol. Anyway, we got to the rehearsal half an hour late. Um, and then before I was asked in the practice to sing my solo for the first time ever in front of people, the choir director had made a comment that was sort of like interpreted by me, maybe incorrectly, because I was not pleased. That
Hmm.
if you don't get it absolutely perfect the first time you try it, we're cutting you. And I did not get it perfect. And it was very, very embarrassing in front of the entire choir. And then I went off to a curling match. And if there's one match you cannot play stressed, is curling. And I made one shot all night against a team that was trying to hand us the game 13 times. And all we could manage was a tie.
So you take today
And then
off.
I got home and stretched out on the couch and fell asleep there as I was trying to make myself food and found out this morning that I just left mayonnaise on the counter all night long.
That's that's garbage now. You don't even no, don't. You know, when you were in university, you might have went, yeah, okay.
Yes, kid, here I let a, well, I did actually let a near spray foam. I didn't know he was doing it. Yes.
Mm,
So again, kids, the
well,
first time you try a recipe, follow it. Don't
follow
freelance. The
directions
very
to
first time you do it,
yeah.
read the instructions.
Uh, well, you know, if you're not a professional chef, read the instructions.
and,
Even if you are a professional chef, you should still read the instructions because
and here's the thing I don't understand. And trust me, look, again, kids, I love my sweetie, but you're an engineer and a chemical engineer. Your whole life is about procedure, process, instructions. Why would you take out a can of spray foam for the very first time, never having used spray foam ever in your life, and think that you could just turn it over and spray it and not have to read the instructions? Anyway, I move on. Deep breathing. So yes, hopefully today will be a better day. But yesterday, when I went to bed, I really, really, really was glad the day was over. Miss Sadeka, the biggest hug from for you, Douglas, from Mateo. Now I can guarantee it doesn't come with boogers, but it's all love. Hey, love with boogers is better than no love. I'll take it. Thank you, Kid Mateo. Really, really appreciate it. Yes, it was his anti-gatekeeper moment. Instructions. We don't need no frickin' instructions. Oh man. All right. In the news, there was Daniel Smith's press conference. Uh, Nate from the breakdown said, "It's going to be wild. Tune in." I did not get to tune in. Seems it was indeed wild. And it seems that from what I've been able to read, I will watch it and bring stuff to you eventually, but it seems that from what I've been able to read, um, never trust the person who looks at you straight in the eye and smiles and tut tut pats you on the head and says, "No, no, no, I'm not doing what you think I'm doing," as you are observing her doing the thing that she is exactly doing. Never trust that lady. Because right now we have a situation where a lady who could not manage to successfully buy Tylenol and a lady that couldn't manage to get children fed without causing them renal failure is saying that she is going to overall all of healthcare. No, Albertans, you can't allow this. She has shown she is supremely incompetent. I mean, and we're talking incompetent with the health of children, where you think a government would like take extra care to dot the I's and cross the T's. No, this is not good. Not good. Um, so yeah, I will bring that back for you tomorrow. But essentially, she's saying it's still all private, yet for profit. Not exactly sure how that works. Anyway, yes, they're running their GOP playbook. And then you have Premier Blaine Higgs in New Brunswick, who's saying that he is going to pass a law that makes it impossible for the federal government to give direct help to cities. Now, the province of Quebec has such a law. But unlike the other conservative days before his meeting with Premier Francois Legault, the day before the Prime Minister's meeting with Francois Legault to discuss housing, Francois Legault was
Can you
all
hear me
over
at
the
all?
media.
Because I can't hear
Yeah,
anything
I
right
can hear
now.
you. Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
You are broadcasting. Like,
Okay.
I can't hear anything.
I hear. Do you have it
I
playing in
don't
the
know why I
background?
can't
I
hear you.
actually,
So I'm gonna have to figure something out here. Give me
yeah,
a
Mr.
minute. Keep
Grizzly,
rolling. Keep rolling.
yeah. Do you?
Everything's working. I just can't hear
Yeah,
you for some reason. You
I'm
have
asking
level.
you a
You
question.
have mic. I just don't know.
I'm asking you a question. Do you have it playing somewhere on your computer? Because I hear myself after I speak. No? Okay. Um, so the um, days before his meeting with Prime Minister Trudeau, uh, Quebec Premier Francois Legault was all over um, TV and radio and any public media saying, we absolutely need to make a deal by Friday. Absolutely make a deal on housing for Friday. And a deal was made. The other conservative premiers seem not to be eager to make a deal at all. Now, the expression is lead, follow, or get out of the way. It seems that our primarily conservative first ministers, who are the real problem, by the way, it's not the prime minister, it's our conservative premiers, have decided that rather than choose lead, follow, or get out of the way, it's, yeah, no, I'm going to hinder you as much as possible. That was not an option on the menu. I do not understand this insistence, um, but it seems that our provincial premiers have lost the plot, and rather than keeping their focus on actually serving the people they were elected to serve, it seems that they are all in on a coordinated strategy with the National Applesauce Party to ensure that the Prime Minister fails so that PP can win. Because there's no other reason for which premiers should be sacrificing their own popularity in their own provinces on something as basic as housing. Yes, the plot is to cause chaos, definitely. Kit Jillian, I agree. Kit Moment, obstruct. Yep. So yeah, it's weird. Weird. Kit PNC Bio says, can hear Paul, can also hear delayed muffled Paul 5 seconds later. Yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, for some reason, the premiers are just not helping, are not being cooperative whatsoever. And I don't know what it is about Premier Blaine Higgs, but there is absolutely, seemingly no love for him when it comes to the public. Um, there was an article in the Telegraph Journal that I was trying to get, but it is completely under paywall, and even with the things that I do to be able to unlock under paywall, it is still under paywall. But we have people saying, comments like, I would say self-interest instead of hate. They can appear the same to ones it affects negatively. That's also why they keep accusing others of corruption, because they would easily be corrupted. They only care for themselves after all. It is more important that the Liberals are seen to fail on addressing the housing crisis so the Conservative Party can win the next federal election than it is to actually help people in dire of need of affordable housing and rents. If provinces could be trusted with the monies, then it would have gone to them. But after COVID funds, healthcare transfers, green energy transfers, the childcare program, and the carbon tax, there is no faith that even a cent of federal monies will ever be seen by residents of the provinces. Provincial governments have no one to blame for being sidelined but themselves. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I wouldn't be surprised if when the next constitutional reform process takes place, municipalities and urban areas are removed from provincial control in part or entirely. That's from someone that goes by due date 4667 on Reddit. And if you just continue, it's just, he is being obliterated. One person, least Degan Azura Engir, says, this is sort of like simulating a conversation. Hey, I got to check for the carbon tax. Now I can grow groceries. Higgs, it's a band-aid and it should be abolished. Okay, what are you going to do about proving the situation? Higgs, I have $1 billion surplus and your kid is a sinning fag.
What? He really said
Yeah,
that?
no. This basically, he's paraphrasing.
Right.
Well, that's not an answer. Higgs, the feds are overstepping their powers by trying to send you money. I'm sending the education guy to a gun range. People are seeing it.
Obviously.
People are seeing it. People are noticing the behavior. They don't like it. Another person, Roxanne Richard. Higgs walked away from federal transit money because he couldn't be bothered to find out if New Brunswick was eligible. I'm just Don Darling. The reaction as a former elected leader with forget funding needed from the Higgs government to position municipalities for success. He centralized power, demanded his way or the highway, and left more people behind. Left more people behind by the day. If Mr. Higgs was in a corporation that cared about culture and the long-term results, he would be fired.
I agree with that.
The Conservative premiers are the problem.
Yeah. They're trying to drag the country down.
And they never have anything good to say about it. They're always talking it down, and they're not helping. They've actually literally decided that they're going to stand there, go limp, and make themselves dead weight, and we have to move them.
Well, I am still literally laughing internally about the whole, we need the federal government to build houses. Okay, we're going to build houses. Not that way. Give us the money, not the municipalities. We'll give it to the municipalities.
Not without our cut.
That's ultimately what it is, you see. Because anybody who knows anything about how housing is built, how public or social housing is built in this country, it is done at the municipal level since the feds got out of it 33 years ago. Thanks, Mulrooney. It was Mulrooney who got out of it, and then what we had left was handed down to the provinces by Jean Chrétien. And the provinces have done literally nothing since then because they'll dole out money to the municipalities, but they don't even do that lately. So, yeah, now that the feds are bypassing the provinces and going right to the municipalities who desperately need money and housing, the Conservative premiers are losing their shit because they're not getting their cut. It's really what it boils down to.
Yep. So, and to go back, Brian Mulroney basically gutted all federal programs for housing, except for housing on Indigenous reserve.
Well,
then Jean Chrétien came in, and it was the austerity budget suit enough. So nothing much more got done. And then Harper came in, and again, as we mentioned in a previous one, but I'm going to read it again. Since most federal dollars were matched by provinces, territories, municipalities, nonprofit, and private housing organizations, the combined loss added up to more than $3.5 billion in 1 year. Right? Let's see. Included in the federal cuts were 97% cut in affordable housing initiative. So whatever was left when the time Harper got there, when PP says at some point he was the Minister of Housing, there was no Minister of Housing, but it was probably housing portfolio was probably included under the Minister of Employment and Social Development, which he was like for less than a year. But apparently in that less than a year, he made everything better. But what really happened was included in the federal cuts were 97% cut in affordable housing initiative, from $452 million to $16 million, a 94% cut in national low-income housing repair program from $674 million to $37 million. So essentially they became slumlords, and a 27% cut in on-reserve Aboriginal housing from $215 to $156 million because they weren't getting value for money, I'm guessing, and a 5% cut in assisted housing from $1.7 to $1.6 billion. In addition, the Institute revealed that a federal crown corporation, the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, will cut the number of households receiving assistance under federal programs by almost 100,000 or 16% between 2008 and 2016. And CMHC's expenditures on the Affordable Housing Initiative fell from $582 million to zero between 2010 and 2015.
Wow. And Skippy insists he's going to do something to make housing affordable.
Yeah. You might not want to trust, again, You don't trust the lady. Says, I'm not doing what I'm doing. While they gaslight you and pat you on the head and say, don't worry, your pretty little head, as they are doing exactly what it is you said they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Also, never trust the MP for life, who's also a landlord, to fix housing.
Yeah. I have a clip for you here I think you're going to love, sir.
Yeah. All right.
Have you seen this clip? It's from the House of Commons yesterday during question period.
Probably not.
Well, let's just say the smackdown was laid. And Skippy doubled down. And
yay.
well, let's just watch and enjoy.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister only divides to distract. That's all he ever does when he gets into trouble. He divides people along every possible battle line. He did that with the carbon tax carve-out for only some in a region where his support is plummeting and his caucus is revolting. And for 10 days, he refused to condemn the comments of his own Liberal minister who said this policy was applying based on how people voted. And now he signs on with the separatists to divide Canadians again. Will
he did it again.
Instead of dividing Canadians, reverse the policies that are driving them to the food bank?
All the barking seals.
He literally said the exact same thing he said twice yesterday.
Yeah. Okay.
Just using different words.
Now here's where it gets good. You're going to enjoy this.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we see the Conservatives' approach to partisan politics and to personal attacks. The reality is, when we stood with the 80 to 90% of Canadians who chose to get vaccinated, they called us divisive. When we chose to stand with women across this country who want to control their own bodies, they called us divisive. When we stand with the 2 LGBTQI+ kids who are being discriminated against in schools across this country, they call us divisive, Mr. Speaker. I ask Canadians, who are dividing Canadians more than Conservatives with their attacks, with their choices, with their politics?
And you noticed as soon as he started making a point, the barking seals from the Conservatives started screaming louder to drown out, which is what they always do.
Fucking children.
As soon as you start making a valid point, start coming after you.
Oh, dude, it pisses me off to no end. You know, I'd get thrown out of that gallery in a second for screaming at them to shut the fuck up. Yep. You had your turn to speak. It's his. Shut up.
There you go. That's the campaign. That's what we're going to see. That's the campaign.
Yes.
And
it is the campaign.
His left eye. Yes. His left eye looking puffy, he says about PP. Yeah. Maybe he decided that he too didn't need hygiene. I remember a comment when we were talking about that. Say pink eye for everyone. Oh, speaking of hygiene, apparently kids in Alberta don't need hygiene as well because there's some custodians, I think in Rocky View County or something like that, who apparently used to have 15 minutes to clean up classrooms. Now they've got 7. They are supposed to do in 7 what they were doing in 15 to keep classrooms clean, sanitary, and hygienic again for children. Just thought I'd throw that out there because why not? Everybody loves pink eye, right?
You get pink eye, and you get pink eye, and you get pink eye.
Fuck. I'm sorry, kids, today. Then yesterday.
Well, look, here's from Hugh, who
Yes.
What's Hugh do for a living again? Well,
I believe he's a teacher, isn't he?
Yes, he's a history teacher. I think he might know something about this thing.
You can't stack chairs in 7 minutes.
Yeah.
This
is how they privatize by saying, look, see, the public system's failed because they're cutting the legs off the public system, cutting the funding, cutting everything they can so they can privatize the hell out of it and make us all pay. And guess who's going to pay the most? The poor and working class.
Of course. Of course. Absolutely. Um, Another interesting thing happened yesterday on the web. This one, actually, a little. Um, Mr. Grizzly, I'm going to send you a link to put up. Um,
This is
we're
the
a
one you
big
sent
fan.
earlier, or is this a new one?
New one. The
Okay.
other thing after that, Michael D'Adder, who is a political cartoonist, yesterday made a mistake, and unlike other people who double down on the mistake, um, he was publicly chastised for it. That's the same, but he owned up, corrected it, offered an apology to at least one of the aggrieved parties, and did not try to pretend it didn't happen by leaving it up so that other people can see his mistake. Uh, if you would put it up, Mr. Grizzly.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get it queued up here. Just a sec. All right, here we go.
So it was a video of the Prime Minister who is getting his flu shot and his COVID shot, one in each arm, wearing a t-shirt that says "Vaccines cause adults."
True.
True. Um, on a side note, I noticed that unlike the leader of His Majesty's loyal opposition, who needs a girdle and seems to be wanting to trot out his guns at every instance, the Prime Minister, when he breaks out the guns to take a couple of shots, does it for a good cause, the right to bear arms.
That's funny. That's good. We don't have that right, but that's good. That's that's a good one. Thank you.
B-A-R-E. Bear
Yeah,
arms.
B-E-A-R-B-A-R-E.
Yes. And you see, D'Adder, I'm only leaving this up to show my error. Read the rest of my Twitter feed to understand why. And here's what Michael Adder published originally. So Justin Trudeau says, got my COVID-19 booster and flu shot this morning. You should get yours too. To find out why and where you can get your shots, click here, canada.ca/vaccines, #4Jude for everyone. D'Adder said, I'm 100% behind vaccines, and I hate that conservatives are still talking about masking mandates. I want it to stop, but I'm equally sick of this too. Trudeau is not promoting the flu vaccine. He's just trying to pick a fight to distract from low poll numbers. No. Then somebody said, well done, Michael. Don't give me credit where it's not due. I left it up for a very long time and didn't have the courtesy to read what it was about. It took good people to hit me over the head before I woke up. Thank them. I had a rough day, but not as rough as you. At Jill Promoli, I share in your sorrow with support and kindness that I should have shown much earlier than I had. That is the person to whom he apologized. I'm not sure if there's an apology yet to the Prime Minister, which should be there.
Yeah.
The reason for the apology is the hashtag for Jude, for everyone. The lady to whom he apologized is Jude's mother. And on January 16th, 2018, there's a tweet that comes out often. But on January 16, 2018, she put out a tweet that says, today is Thomas's and Jude's birthday. T is turning 4, but Jude isn't. He died on May 6th, 2016 from flu B. He was a perfectly happy, healthy 2-year-old. Today I got to spoil Thomas when he's home from school, but I'll never get to hug Jude again. Let me tell you about him. And then she has a beautiful feed and thread about Jude and Thomas and her entire family. And she goes, worse, his death was preventable. The flu is preventable when, as communities, we do our part to stop the spread. More flu shots, more people staying home when sick, more hand washing and covering sneezes and coughs. These things protect us all, especially higher risk people. And our story isn't unique. Every year, about 3,500 Canadians and about 36,000 Americans die from the flu and its complications. Even more are hospitalized, and there's a significant burden on facilities every flu season. This puts other patients at risk and can impact operations, which is why we advise you to get your flu and your COVID shots, because the right neighborly thing to do when hospitals are already short-staffed is making sure you do all you can to not clog them unnecessarily. The Prime Minister, the story goes, met with Jill Promoli at one point and promised her that every year from then on, he would promote getting the flu shot,
Which is what he did.
keeping his promise.
Yeah. And good of Didja to own up to it and say, you know what? I screwed up. My
But this is the
apologies.
thing, right? Because he's only virtue signaling. He's only dividing. No.
It's not what he was
At some
doing.
point, we're going to have to accept that he's a decent man.
And the thing that, I take umbrage with is when everybody says, well, he's just virtue signaling. I'm like, even if that is the case, why is that so bad?
You're signaling virtue.
Do the right thing. I'm doing the right thing. You should do it too. Okay, how exactly is that bad? I get it drives people
I am
nuts.
the
That's
leader of the
fine.
nation. I'm leading.
That's
by
his
example.
That's his
That's his
job.
brand.
And again, hate the virtue signaling all you want, but own up to what he's doing. What he's doing is trying to make the world better. You don't have to like the man. I don't care whether you like him, love him, hate him, whatever. But be honest, be truthful.
He's literally keeping a promise to a mother whose child, at the age of 6, died of the flu.
Yeah.
He's literally keeping a promise to a mother and doing something to keep primarily children, but all of us alive.
You want to call it virtue signaling? Go ahead. Go ahead. That's fine.
But Kit PNC Bio's got it right. It's not virtue signaling. If you do it, that's virtue doing.
Exactly. Exactly.
Jeez, man. All right, moving on from that one. How much time do we have, Mr. Grizzly?
About 20 minutes. Do we want to talk about the? Did I sent you the thing about the land development thing, Ford, and how blatantly, openly corrupt they are? But do you want to look at that today?
Yeah, because we won't be able to do the video thing today.
We won't have time for that. Okay, so this is Jack. I don't know how I pronounce his surname. It's Hauen. So Juan. I don't know. At Jack Huaen is his Twitter or X, whatever. New Ford government rezoned land after developer donations despite ministry pushback. The Ford government rezoned 4 sites in or near the Greenbelt after donations from developers who made the requests, and in half the cases, despite warnings from ministry staff. The Ford government rezoned 1 site to allow housing in the middle of a vast industrial park. This conversion request should not proceed, staff wrote. The site was owned by members of a family that has donated tens of thousands to the Progressive Conservative Party of Ontario. A developer bought a Greenbelt adjacent site in 2021. In July 2022, he bought a $1,000 ticket for a fundraiser for Sylvia Jones, the local MPP and now deputy premier. He said he didn't attend. 3.5 months later, it was rezoned for housing. A developer pitched a 120,000 square foot industrial building with parking for 400 to 500 trucks on agricultural land. The land was rezoned to allow it. Names matching that developer, his firm, and its execs have donated at least $45,000 to PC causes.
Hey, you know what? I've got $45,000 at least saved up for my retirement after over 20 years. Is there a deal where I can take that $45,000, give it to some government person and get a deal on like $1 billion plot of land? Because I would love that deal. Is that available to all of us?
Well, if you give that money to the PC party.
Because I mean, literally, if 45,000 is all it takes to buy a premier to get like a land deal that will get you multi-billions, I want to sign up for that program. Because at the rate that inflation is going in, I need to get I need to get bigger return than 5% per year on my deal.
It's
what
just
the
absurd.
hell?
It's a
What the
level of
hell?
absurdity and blatant in-your-face corruption. I just don't know.
I know that there's due process, but man, why is this man not in jail yet? How is this guy still premier? Why has this party not thrown him overboard? How many investigations and revelations do they need to be before the caucus say, hey, wait a minute, you know what? This guy might be dead weight. I'm sorry, Ontario PC caucus, every day that you are keeping him as leader of your party, you're signing your own political death warrants.
Well, here's one from
If you want to have any
Gasp
chance
for
of being
Change.
reelected. Pardon?
This tweet from Gasp for number 4 Change. AstroTurfing donation. In 2018, the Giampaolo Group donated a combined $30,000 to Ontario Proud. A meme page largely funded by the development industry to buoy the Tories' election chances.
Right. They keep on saying they're grassroots organizations, but they're not. It's the page from the Koch brothers.
Yes. Yeah.
Just these people. Okay.
I will share this one tweet with you though because it's really funny. You're going to like this. I just, you know how I have to inject humor into things from time to time, just because what we talk about is very heavy, and you know. Let me just put this on the screen here because this is a brilliant one from at T.Resident. How long until we find out that Doug Ford's $3 billion infrastructure bank is really just a new PC financial kiosk inside of a Loblaws in Vaughan?
Yep. Yep.
Oh, that made me laugh so hard.
Oh, God. Galen Weston commercial. Law President's Choice presents memories of healthcare.
Galen Weston, long-term care construction financing arm. Yeah, that's totally possible. That is also from T.Resident.
Oh, man.
Name the board of directors. Weston, and Randy Ford.
Shit. That's funny.
I really had to lighten it because I was really incensed at the whole blatant corruption in your face from, you know.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Thank you. I needed that because this morning,
You're welcome.
There was no pep in my step.
No, I hear you.
Oh, God. Yeah, when you sent that thing, when you said exasperated every damn day, and I'm just like, literally, I think, what was it? I said, I said what the mood was, and I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh yeah, mood. There it was. Resigned sigh of being unsurprised plus reflexive shock agog eyes. It's like, it's. And I think that is the way I express. Like I read something and my eyes get big, like Toonie's like, what? And then it's like,
yeah, just another day.
I still am able to be shocked, and yet I am not surprised.
Yeah, that's the thing. That is the thing, right? Shocked but not surprised.
I swear, if we had like, you know how we have like weather reporters and like they point to the map and they say here it's going to be sunny and it's going to be, and I think like, oh, throughout Canada, here disdain, there contempt, here shock but not surprise, here mild pleasant surprise in Alberta. Or Drumheller. An odd occasion, enjoy it, have some fun today. It's just boy. All right, Mr. Grizzly, do we have a show?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, that clip is too long. No, we won't have time for that. Well, maybe we can get to this clip on Friday. I don't know if you're familiar with the hubbub about Rashida Tlaib.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got the clip that they're trying to. They're
if
trying to.
Time, we can play it.
It's a 10-minute clip, though.
Oh no.
Yeah, we don't want. Yeah, it's a 10-minute clip, but it's
pick a moment from it.
Yeah, one of the comments, though, is listen to every word by Congress member Rashida Tlaib. Talib. Talib.
Talib. Yep.
Listen to every word by Congress member Rashida Tlaib here and tell me she's not holding the voice of Palestinian Jews, everyday Americans, and all people of conscience. As most Democrats fail us, it is Rashida Tlaib who is our moral leader, which is why she's a target. Like, Nora Loretto's comment on this. God, it won't take much time for the world to look back at Rashida Tlaib and say not only was she right, but she was better than the entire establishment of the United States combined.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 10-minute clip. We don't have time to air it. But
she's having a Barbara Lee moment.
Yes. I'll put a link to it.
Barbara Lee was the one member of the House of Representatives that voted against going to war in Iraq based on weapons of mass destruction. And she was raked over the coals for being the only one.
And she was right.
Guess that vote aged well.
Yeah.
It was the only one that aged well. Because right now the Americans are like in Netanyahu's ear. All he can is like, do not make the same mistakes we made. Learn from us. Everybody voted for it except one.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
be the voice.
Our then Prime Minister, Jean Chrétien, said, no, we're not going into Iraq. And I remember thinking, why? Why not? And it was a friend of mine who said, well, Paul, he's privy to information you and I aren't. I'm like, yeah, that's true. And I was not in love with Jean Chrétien, but I had to respect that he knew what he was doing. And history has proven him to have been right. So,
and Canadians learned on that day that we actually do have an independent foreign policy.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah, we're not in lockstep with everything the U.S. does, nor should we be.
No, we shouldn't be.
There are allies, but are they really our friends? They're business partners and allies, but again, are they really our friends?
No friends, countries have interests.
That's what I was. Countries don't really have friends. No. We have shared interest.
No, because the friendships change depending on who's. Look, can you really say that the United States was a friendly nation to us during those 4 years of Trump?
No,
at all in any way. That country repeatedly tried to kneecap us for 4 straight years. If it wasn't for Trudeau and Freeland and a little bit Mulroney, we would have been in big trouble. If the Conservatives were in power, they would have rolled over like they did for FIPA. NAFTA 2 would definitely not be serving us. So, yeah. Yep. Well, Kit Mohan, his speech about the proof led me to have more respect for Chrétien. In that moment too. I do. All right. Kits and Cubs. Also, before we go, big mistake on our part, but oversight, I should say. But yesterday was Indigenous Veterans Day. And I did not pick up on that until our show was well over. So my bad. But thank you so much, Indigenous veterans, for everything that you have done. Your contributions to the nation are valued, respected, and cherished. So thank you. I do not know if we will have something for a Remembrance Day special this year because it's on the weekend. I know last year we had an interview with Kit Hugh, which was very, very popular. Hopefully we'll be able to do something again this year. But if we don't, please know that it's not because we don't care about the issue. Kit Hugh says you will. Okay, maybe we will have something then.
Okay.
So that's good to know. It also, Kits and Cubs, if you can send some good vibes, tomorrow and this weekend will be my Beaver Sweetie and mine's 11th anniversary.
Oh, congratulations.
So all the good vibes. I don't know, since we're not actually having a pubcast this month officially, maybe at some point we can have an anniversary party and you're all invited.
Well, yeah, because we had thought about doing it on, what was it, November 25th, which is not possible for you, correct? And you suggested the Sunday,
but
the 26th.
yes, because the 25th I might be at a curling bonspiel. Might be.
Yeah. And the 26th, Sundays, I just can't, I can't do it.
It
I
could
just
be
can't
any
do
other
it.
day. It could be a Friday evening on a certain week. It doesn't have to be a Saturday or Sunday, but
Yeah,
if we want
Friday
to
evening.
do
Oh, Friday evening is really busy in the pub, though. Really busy.
no, not from the pub, not from the pub.
Oh, okay.
No,
Like,
we
yeah,
were just going to do it like this from home because we didn't
yeah,
have an
okay.
opportunity to go to the pub, so we were just going to do one online. But yes, we could if the kids like that idea, uh, we'll try and figure it out. We'll pick a night and yes, no foam parties for the anniversary.
Come.
And we could have a slight anniversary party, and that might be nice. Okay, we'll keep you posted on that. Hello, Mademoiselle Fox. Oh yes, I love that. Is that beaded?
No, it's. Sorry, I need to get her some headphones. She can't hear anything. Here, babe.
Oh,
There we go. Go ahead.
I was just wondering if it was one of the beaded ones, like we just saw in the image.
The pin?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said before, but it's. I just thought I would mention. So this is a pin, a Indigenous veterans pin that I got from Millbrook First Nation in Nova Scotia, which is a highly successful, economically, socially progressive First Nation. I got to do some work there, and one of my besties is actually from there. But so yesterday was Indigenous Veterans Day, and it's celebrated from November 8th to the 11th. And I was going to read you some stats, but I guess I'll let people look that up themselves.
No,
But
please do.
tons, okay, thousands and thousands of Indigenous veterans served, women and men in various roles, and I think it's really important to note that before, November 11th is important all on its own for all veterans, but I think it's really cool to learn about Indigenous veterans and how they served and how they were treated. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And my hair.
You have volume. You have volume.
Look at that. It just gets crazier. I'm like Rod Stewart every morning. Oh, I can't look at that anymore. Anyway, I wish you could see the pin. It's absolutely beautiful, and the way that the Millbrook First Nation celebrates Indigenous veterans is really beautiful. They have flags all through the community with different members who served. Oh, sorry.
I'm going to zoom in on the pin
Okay,
here.
it's really beautiful.
Oh yes, lovely.
Yeah.
We can't see all the
So
detail, but yeah.
yeah.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, just
Nice.
to me, it's a positive.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of Millbrook, when we have some time one-on-one, I'd like to talk to you about that because if I've been trying to figure out a little bit more about our family's history, and I'm thinking that since on my father's side, the Mi'kmaq is from Nova Scotia, maybe there's somebody that's connected with Millbrook in our ancestry, and because I'd like to find out more.
Oh, that would be
I don't
so
know.
cool. So,
Yeah, because he was
Douglas,
born
I
in
would love
Truro.
that.
Yeah,
He was
so
born in Truro.
yeah.
We'll connect because my bestie Pauline, like it's her community, and she knows friggin' everybody.
Okay, that'd be good because I've been asking other people, like, does anybody know any Connors anywhere in Nova Scotia? Because apparently we're all over the place.
Like she'll be like, and she'll do the lips. She'll be like, but if anyone wants to learn more about that community and the art that comes out of that community, you probably know, or you should know, Alan Sillyboy. He's
Yep.
nationally and internationally recognized. So, of course,
Yep.
Douglas, but he does drums. Like he is in a band that, his paintings are off the charts and they're in many collections. And yeah, he's
I wonder
awesome.
if he's related to Bryson
Yeah, I wonder.
on the show. Because
Well, if it's
similar last
is it
name.
Yeah.
a silly boy? Yeah,
Silly
it's
boy.
a,
Yeah.
it's a probably.
Oh,
Anyway,
cool.
thanks for letting me spout off.
Hey,
Love y'all.
love you. So yes, and we are of course getting ready for Veterans Day, for Remembrance Day, I should say, not Veterans Day. That's U.S., but recognizing our veterans. So, anybody who has anybody in the family who is serving, has served, um, we're thinking about you. So, yes, hopefully we'll have something for you. That would be really great to be able to bring you something. So, keep your eyes peeled for something maybe for Remembrance Day, and we'll get on the anniversary online party and have something. It's a pretext for gathering, kids. It's a pretext for gathering and spending time together.
Basically, is what it is. Yes. Well, that's the whole point of the podcast is just to get together and talk about life outside of politics.
Indeed. All right, kids. That's the end of this episode of the Daily Beaver Morning Show. We hope that you love listening to us because we loved making this for you. And you know what? I have to say, um, doesn't matter what my mood is when I start doing this. And I could say I was in a pretty foul mood when I started this morning. I always feel much better. Even if what we're talking about is doom, just from having some time with you, my friend, and time with the kids here. So, whatever it is that you do, kids on the chat, and by showing up, it means more. It's more than you just coming into listening. I actually get something here. And feel my
Awesome.
emotions and some energy and whatnot from it. And today it was very, very necessary. Today, you kids were very, very, very necessary. So thank you. And thank you, Mr. Grizzly.
Well, this is the point of community, right? This is what we're trying to build is a community where we can lean on one another when we need to, support one another through the rough days, right?
But I'm like, yeah, I know I'm typically the, hey, good morning, kids. And today there's a little less of that for me. So
It happens. You're only human.
yeah. Because democracy is something that you do, make like the prime minister, get your shots, break out the guns, do your part to keep hospitals unclogged and to keep kids healthy and yourselves, because you're needed too. Your life is
Indeed.
valuable too. If you're in the Northwest Territories, please make sure that you make a plan to vote. It's 5 days from now, so very, very, very important. Of course, donations to the Red Cross and keep writing those letters. They are very important. Trust me, they do make a difference. Or even better yet, calling your elected representative and asking for a meeting. That really gets people's attention.
Oh, yes.
Yes. If you would like to make sure that you do not miss an episode, please, thanks to the Ray Girl, you do not have to by going to our Podpage site. That's podpage.com/the True North Eager Beaver, lowercase letters with a hyphen between each one of those words, or if you just scan that QR code, or if you like to like, share, and subscribe, well, then you can do that via our True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated YouTube page, where that helps us greatly because we are trying. Our first goal is to reach 1,000. So, and we're on our way to halfway there. So we're in the 400s. So thank you everybody who has been subscribing. We really appreciate it. And if you would like to encourage us to do more, then you can contribute to the Eager Beaver Lodge Emergency Hydration Fund by going to our coffee page. That's coffee, KO-hyphen, I'm having trouble today, ko-fi.com/Eager Beaver, lowercase letters, all in one word. That's ko-fi.com/Eager Beaver, lowercase letters, and all in one word. Or you just scan that squiggly by Mr. Grizzly's head. And yes, you can donate to our hydration fund, or just send us a good word to say, hey, we like what you're doing. Keep it up. We want more of that. So thank you so, so, so very much. And Kit Dan, I am not a doctor, but if you're asking about the flu shot, I always very, very, very much recommend it. But I'm not a doctor, so
Yes.
especially as we're getting older, when we're very, very young and very, very old. Yeah, but that's advice is free and you get what you pay for. So
Hey, and how about them Senators?
yeah,
6-3 last night. Hey, how you doing? How do you like them
yeah,
apples?
I like that. And for sports fans, CFL playoffs have already started. And we've already had the quarterfinals, so we're moving to the semifinals that features a classic Montreal-Toronto. And then in the West, Winnipeg, BC. This weekend, I believe on Saturday are the matches. So for those who are into that. And for tennis fans, our women's national team is at the Billie Jean Cup, trying to qualify for the World Group. And yesterday they played Spain. And Marina Stekusic, who we've been talking about a lot lately, who has got her ranking up to 258 in the world, I believe, was playing someone who was 65th in the world yesterday and got a straight sets victory for her biggest win of her career. Leila Fernandez followed that up with a gritting it out thing where both sets went to tie breaks. She won both tie breaks. And then in doubles, Gabriela Dabrowski teamed up with none other than Eugenie Bouchard, who's back to international play. And they won the doubles match. So Canada defeated Spain 3-0. Like this. Now they next face Poland. If they can defeat Poland, they advance to the World Group like the men did. So there you go. All right. Mr. Grizzly. Oh, yes. I forgot. From the Beaver Lodge, this is your Eager Beaver saying it could be a tough world out there, so please be kind to and gentle with yourself. That's going to be my task for the day. Mr. Grizzly, some words of wisdom, please.
I'm just going to repeat what you just said. Be kind to and gentle with yourself. It's a difficult time of the year. November, I find, is the toughest month for many. Yes, I understand December can be tough on a great number of people because they don't have family, they don't celebrate, they can be reminded how alone they are. But there is still a general joyful spirit in the air, which if you choose to see it and feel it, you can. Whereas November is just bleak, cold, dark, empty, devoid of anything pleasurable.
Which is why we celebrate love.
Thank goodness for the Grey Cup.
Which is why it's our anniversary, because it's one day of joy and love.
There you go.
All right. Mr. Grizzly, please. Ooh, hello, Polar Knights. You've just joined us. Lovely to see you. Thank you for joining us in the chat. Mr. Grizzly, please roll the credits. You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum. And the Pepper Master, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. Ooh, we have some kits already. Grey Cup arguing. Cassie's going Blue Bombers for the Grey Cup, and Kid Dan's going, sorry, Cassie, but Argos. And I think we have a slightly cheeky comment from Polar Knights. It's like, this has been a good day. I made a liberal into a conservative. I made my son move out of the basement and get a job.
That's good. I like it. That's a good one. That's a good one. Write it down. It's a good one. It's a good one. Write it down.
Mr. Grizzly. And yes, we are doing good as well. I'm having a bit of a rougher day if you listen to the episode from the start, but we're doing well now. Mr. Grizzly, you have something for today.
I do, but I'm just going to say, go Owls, go. All right, here's our Easter egg. This is interesting. This is from, I don't know, was this last night? Was this last night? When was this? This might have been last night. Anyway, this is from a clip from, I don't know when this took place, Republican presidential debate. This is Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yes, or Ramaswamy.
Just watch this silliness. He's smarmy. Yeah,
a good relationship with that next president of Mexico. We'll use our own military to seal our own southern border. What we need to do is stop using our military to protect somebody else's border halfway around the world when we're short right here at home. Get serious about protecting this border. And then the other thing that hasn't been discussed is the northern border. I'm the only candidate on the stage, as far as I'm aware, who has actually visited the northern border. There was enough fentanyl that was captured just on the northern border last year to kill 3 million Americans. So we got to just skate to where the puck is going, not just where the puck is. Don't just build the wall, build both walls. Can't just complete the wall, use the military to seal the Swiss cheese for the tunnels that they're actually building underneath that wall.
Thank you,
That's
Mr.
what needs to be
Ramaswamy.
practical and actually get this job done.
Okay. I noticed that he's starting to do the hair thing as well. That weird villain.
Yeah, they all get
He's
evil
starting,
and do that.
It's starting to. Okay. You visited the northern border. Did the northern border bring you muffins? Muffin?
Yeah.
And the fentanyl, you're complaining about fentanyl that was caught?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. They always do that. We caught all this fentanyl, so they did their job.
oh, man. Man.
Exasperated all the damn time.
They talk about Canada and they've never met it.
No.
It's just, anyway.
I don't know.
My favorite one was from a few elections ago where I think some guy from Vermont turned around and said like this, but if we don't have the best healthcare in the world, where will Canadians go for their healthcare? Canada? You are the guys that send busloads of seniors across the border to Manitoba to get your flu shots and pick like
Medication.
Yes, we do go to the United States for healthcare when somebody decides that they want to pay for it because they don't want to wait in line, or if you happen to have that 1 in 1 billion illness that only the Mayo Clinic can help you solve. But other than that, we don't really need you.
Medical tourism for Canadians is not really a thing. A quick footnote before we go. When my sister a few years ago was in New Delhi for work, the hotel she was staying in, she met an American woman who had spent 4 weeks in New Delhi in hotel after going there for a surgery. And my sister was like, my God, how much does that cost you? She goes, 1/10 of what it would cost me back home. It was cheaper for her to fly to India, stay in a 5-star hotel for a month, and get her surgery there at a world-class hospital. Like we're talking, they have public and private systems in India. It was cheaper for her to travel halfway around the world than it was to get the surgery done in her own country. So put that in your pipe and smoke it there, bud.
I have Kid Polar Nights that says we have the same medical system as Canada. Not perfect, but I don't go broke going to a doctor. Where are you writing from?
I'm going to guess Scandinavia by the Northern Lights. Somewhere in Scandinavia.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you have the chance, Kid Polar Nights, please let us know where you're watching from. That would be really great. Okay, kids and cubs. Have a wonderful Thursday. I'm going to work on making mine pretty good too. All right. Love and hugs.
See ya.
North Norway. Hello.